Okay, guys, my name's Alberto, aka Destroyer 48, aka Subscribe for Food, aka Subscribe for Nuts, haha, aka I have a million channels. All right, man. Today we are gonna go over the movie Blade, starring Wesley Snipes. It's a 1998 film, so let's begin, shall we? This movie starts off with this guy. He's picked up by this girl, and they're in a car. She's driving. They get to this place. It looks like a big freezer place. It has meat. This dude, something passes him by, like on something on hooks, and he's like, "What the?" So you're thinking maybe he thought he saw a human or something. This chick then sees like this guy that has shades. He has shades like this. He's a big dude. He has like a goatee. And she's like, Gustastes, or she says something in Russian or whatever it is. And then he's like, what? And then she starts kissing him. This guy or bodyguard, whatever he is, or bouncer, he lets him in. And then there's like a whole big, it's like a club inside there, in this meat place, and the hiding door back there. They're playing a really cool, like techno song. It's really awesome. You all know this scene, man. If you haven't seen it, oh, you gotta see it. There's people dancing and all this stuff. She walks in and they walk in and he starts dancing a little bit. And then this chick he was with, he goes with his girl. Oh my gosh. And she goes with this girl that's not very pretty, but she has the blonde pigtails. She looks so awesome. You know, she looks hot, except she's not that pretty. But she's like, I don't know, man, what it's about her. She's not that pretty, but she looks so cool with the pigtails and she has the bod, you know. And the chick he's with has the body too. They start dancing together, and they start dancing really cool. You gotta see it. They start dancing together like this, like holding each other and stuff like that. And then this guy is kind of getting the shaft, like they're ignoring him, and everybody's looking at him weird. And so they're there, and then the DJ has these lights on his head. Looks really cool. Like I don't know. I guess some DJs probably have it now. Probably copying him, and it's just a really cool. It's just a really cool scene. Um, and they're all dancing and stuff, and then like it has a sprinkler system, and blood starts pouring down, and everybody's getting drenched with blood, right? They're all still dancing. He's freaking out. Everybody's drenched in blood, especially him. And then they start they start vamping out. Like everybody in the club starts vamping out. They're like, ah, the teeth come out and stuff like that. And somebody punches him. Boom! They hit him. He goes down. He starts crawling on the floor. And there's everybody. Once again, everybody's drenched. There's blood everywhere on the floor, everywhere on everybody. Everybody's red blood that came from the sprinkler system. He crawls, and then he gets to a black boot. And who is it? It's Blade. I guess you see the blood. Like it looks like, and then they do it really cool. The scene because the blood seems like it wants to stop at Blade. Like the blood has a mind of its own. Like no, don't touch Blade. No, no blood gets on Blade's boots. So that's really cool. And if you ask who Blade is, which the movie's named after, he's a daywalker. And this guy, he just starts. Some of the vampires start attacking him. Some start running away, and he starts shooting them with shotguns. With a shotgun, like this, and like shoots away, starts shooting them and stuff like that. Some of them, some of the vampires get meat hooks. One guy is like, and Blade shoots him. I think he even shoots one up here. shoots them in the head, and they die. When they get shot, they turn into ash and stuff like that. They're still attacking them. Um, in part of that scene, there's the girl with the pigtails. She's dressed all red. She takes out a gun. She takes out a gun and she's like, not like this, but not Magnum. Blade starts shooting at her. She leaves. The girl that vamped out that he was with, Blade. She attacks Blade. She's like, "I'm gonna cut your fucking head off. Effing head off." Blade kills her. There's a part where Blade goes into, like, I don't know what it is. It's like a circle kind of room, probably like the locker, the freezer locker version of the Oval Office of the presidency, because it's like circle. And these guys come in and they have guns. They're like in black jackets and beanies, and they're all lined up around. And then Blade just takes out this device he has. It's like a blade bow and arrow, not bow and arrow. Um, what is it called? Boomerang. So he's like this, and he throws it, and she goes around, and it kills all those bodyguards with guns, whatever they're with beanies. He kills them. There's this guy named Quinn. Before all the action starts, he's in the club, and he's getting dirty in the club with two girls, doing inappropriate stuff in front of everybody. Vampires, you should like tell them, show manners. Kidding. Um, Quinn was like one of the guys saying, "Come on, get him, woo!" And he tells them, "I'll get him." And Quinn Quinn is in somewhere in there, actually in that oval room or whatever, and he's against the wall, and then Blade is like gets his gun and pew pew, and she's like is able to shoot spikes. I don't know how. So that is a shotgun, and they shoot Criminal here, and Quinn is stuck against the wall. Ugh. Quinn is a guy has a beard. He acts like a dumbass. I guess I could say, and he's stuck like this. Everybody's already cleared out. A lot of the vampires have escaped. A lot of them have been destroyed by Blade, turned into ash. And then Blade goes to Quinn while he's stuck like this, and then Quinn's talking like in vampire language or Russian, I don't know what. And then Blade goes to him and says, he gets closer and says, "I'm tired of running into you. Let's try fire this time." He takes out a lighter or something with gasoline, I don't know what, and lights Quinn on fire. And then Quinn's like is getting burnt to a crisp. That guy that was in there, I think he was supposedly the only human in there. They were gonna eat him. Um, he's like crawling away, and Blade blocks him, and then Blade gets him in a sitting position, and then turns his head, see if he's been bitten. He's like puts his hand here. He checks if the guy's been bitten. He has not been bitten. Blade hears that some more people are coming in, and it's actually turns out to be police and the fire department. The police are like, put that guy out because Quinn is on fire because Blade put him on fire, and they put him out with a hose thingy, not the hose, a fire hydrant. So they put him out, and I guess they're gonna take the guy in custody for questioning, and Quinn they're gonna put him in a body bag because he's not conscious. And yes, Quinn is also a vampire. Um, so Blade takes off, and he goes with Whistler. I'm talking about Quinn being the errand boy and all that stuff. Then we go to the hospital where Quinn has been taken, and there you're gonna run to Karen Jensen. She's medical staff. She's a hematologist. She she's there, and then Dr. Curtis Webb is a young doctor that is seeing some weird stuff with Quinn's body, and he wants Karen Jensen to check it out. Uh, Curtis goes to Karen Jensen in the hospital and says, go and check it out. And then Karen says, "I thought you were gonna give me some space. So you're starting to see that they've dated before." and Doctor Curtis Webb, he insists that Karen go sees the body because he's suspicious stuff about the body and all that. So they go to, I guess they go to the morgue, and Karen and Curtis are there working on start cutting up the body. They're gonna investigate. They're gonna see what suspicious stuff is going on. They start cutting the body, and then Curtis tells Karen, "Let me ask you something. Do you ever think about us?" And then she's like, "Yeah, but I remember how much an a hole you were." She's like, and then Curtis is complaining, "I'm trying or whatever," and Karen doesn't want to hear nothing about it. In the middle of the conversation, Quinn, that corpse, their barbecuing, bites Curtis, and then on the neck, and then goes after Karen Jensen. That's that he starts biting her in the neck. Then Blade comes on the scene, and he tells Quinn, "I came to finish you off." And I believe Blade punches him in the face, I believe. And then Quinn runs off. He escapes. Um, Blade thinks about finishing off Karen because he knows she's gonna turn because she's been bitten by Quinn, which is a vampire. So, but Blade looks at her and then gets flashbacks of his mother. Now that part I kind of understand. I guess uh, I'll speak more about that later on. But when Blade, yeah, once again, when Blade sees Karen Jensen's face, he starts seeing flashbacks of his mother. Like that's what you see in the film. And he picks her up like this, and then at one point before that, they start shooting at Blade in his chest, the security guards, and nothing happens because he has armor. So Blade gets Karen and they're running away from the police, and he sees a window open from the hospital, and he sees another building close to the hospital, and he throws her like 30 or 40 feet on the mountain. It has to be 50 feet. I don't know how she survives that, to tell you the truth. But he throws her in I don't know, some tarp thingy on the next building. Out, he throws her out the window. They start shooting at him, and he jumps out, and then he gets her. She survives. She's still alive. I don't know if she just survives because she's human, or is she already turned a vampire that helps her survive that throw, which it's a 50 drop to the next building. So he gets her, and he gets her, and they run to another building, to a door, and then there's this guy with his cap backwards, but it looks like it's the police SWAT, and he starts shooting at them, and they get away. Next we have Blade is with takes Karen to Whistler, and she's laying on a table, and then Whistler says, "I have this thing. I think it's some kind of garlic. He's injected with a shot. Says it's gonna hurt a lot, and he injects her with it, and then she's like, and Whistler's like, hold her down. Whistler's an old man that works with Blade, by the way. They're at their base. It's all dark and stuff. Looks probably like a warehouse. Oh, anyway, so Whistler puts the shot on her, and I believe it's garlic. It's like right here. They put it in, and they put the shot in her neck, and then it looks like it's burning her where she's been bit. It's all bloody and stuff. And then he's like, "I give her 50-50." And Whistler's like telling Blade, "You should have finished her off." And he's like, and then Blade is like, "Yeah, but I didn't." Um, so you do have scenes where you see like a vampire council, and there's like, I don't know, 12, 13 of them or something. They're their nice black room with their nice table. They have it, all of them around there's like a circle table. They're all sit around chairs in the meeting. The head elder vampires named Gitano. They're talking about stuff. They bring in Deacon Frost. Deacon Frost he looks like a young guy. He's a vampire. They say several times that he is only a half breed. He's a half vampire. He was not born a vampire. And he talks. Gitano talks with him, and some of the other elders talk with um, with Deacon Frost. Uh, Deacon Frost is not part of the council. He's just I don't know what he is. He looks like he's a higher up, but he's not part of the council. He is not an elder. So Gitano, which is elder, tells them that hey, you've been throwing these wild parties or whatever. We don't approve. We're trying to keep it down a low down. And he's talking like they have people in Congress, United States Congress, that help them out. They have these all these back treaties, and Frost is like, we should be ruling the humans, not be doing you know backyard or treaties or something. And Gitano explains what we've been doing is like since the beginning of time, and they have their differences, and we're gonna leave it as that. Back to Frost Whistler and Karen Jensen. Um, she wakes up without them knowing. Whistler is now putting some kind of it's like some kind of plasma or blood or something into Blade. He puts him in a chair. Blade has to put something in his teeth because it's gonna hurt a lot. Then Whistler puts the serum. That's what they call serum in his neck, and Blade's like moving like that and stuff like that. And because it hurts him a lot, it really it's his substitute for blood. Because we're gonna find out he's a daywalker. He's not human. He's like half vampire, half human, something like that. But they call him daywalker because he has vampire uh, stuff, but he's the only one with vampire powers that can walk in the daylight. Um, so he doesn't want to be drinking blood because it's he's you want to be good, you can't be drinking off human blood or humans, So they give him this serum that's supposed to substitute for the blood. So Blade has been giving that thing, that shot, that serum. He looks up and he sees that Karen has awakened. Karen Jensen has awakened, and she's running around the warehouse trying to escape. And then Whistler stops her, and Blade's there, and they started explaining to Karen that she's probably gonna turn into a vampire, and they told her some stuff about vampires that they can only be killed by stake and silver and sunlight. Wow, silver! I thought those were werewolves, and they're thinking she's gonna turn into a vampire. Whistler even tells her you should buy if you feel like you need to drink something or whatever you feel a lot of, and your water's not working, you get all these other weird symptoms. Just get a gun and just kill yourself. And she's kind of like, I don't want to give up and stuff like that. So Blade is gonna take her home, and he does. They go in his car. He has a nice car. I'm not good with cars. I think it's a Camaro. I don't know. You guys in the comments tell me what the car is if you all seen it. Uh, Blade drops her off in his car, his nice black car, and he drops her off at um, at this building. Of course, it's a city, so she goes in the elevator. She with some people. There's a guy and girl specifically They are they are like behind her in the elevator, and they're like telling her what you're doing, stuff like that, and they actually have symbols on the back of their neck, which we're gonna find out. It means that they're vampire property. They're probably they're what they call familiars, humans that want to become vampires, but that they're in their way, and the vampires come feed on them. Um, there's a part where they're following her, but she escapes them somehow. She looks back and they're not there anymore. She goes into her apartment and she starts packing a bag. Then we see a guy named Officer Krieger, police officer, is there, and he's like, "Hey, wait, hold up! The door was open, and we're just doing a check because we know you were involved with the hospital." And he's like, he knows about Curtis Webb, the her ex boyfriend, love interest or lover or whatever, got bitten by Quinn, and they said that no, he didn't make it. And then she questions him like, "What? I don't hear, you know." She's like, "What? I don't kind of don't trust you." And then the cop says, "You know what? You're dead too, B. Like, big bitch." And Whistler had given her some vampire mace, and she she's like, she puts it all over uh, um Officer Krieger, and Krieger's like, what is this, onion, garlic? I'm sorry, it's garlic, not onion. And then he's about to try to shoot Karen Jensen. Blade shows up and starts beating up Officer Krieger, and she's like, "What? You just used me for a trap?" And he's like, "Oh, get used to." Blade's like, "Get used to it." Starts, he throws, he throws Officer Krieger on the table and everything, and it's some, it's on the head. And Karen's like, "Is that all necessary?" He's beating her up. I like this part because Blade goes to Officer Krieger's wrist. He has a watch, and then Karen sees that Blade's eyeing Officer Krieger's uh, wrist wristwatch, and then Karen's like, "You gonna rob him too?" And Blade goes, "This is not exactly. It's exactly the March of Dimes." And you're gonna find out that Blade takes off jewelry off vampires to invest in his endeavors. No, what's the word? I don't know what the word is. And his, I guess, as activities to to fund him and Whistler and making weapons, gasoline for the car, all that stuff. And then Blade gets the watch from Officer Green and goes, "Ah, it's fake," and he throws it down. It was, excuse me, it wasn't even real. I mean, it wasn't made of silver or gold that you can go hawk it for. Hey man, with a regular watch, you could at least hawk it for a couple of pennies or something. Um, they take off Karen and Blade. They take Officer Krieger outside, and then they check in the trunk. They make him open the trunk, and there's a whole like a whole bunch of blood bags in there. Looks probably from the hospital or something. Karen somehow she gets Blade distracted, and then Officer Krieger runs away, and he gets away. So Blade tells Karen, "Oh yeah," and Blade was trying to shoot Officer Krieger, but he ran into the crowd outside, and Blade tells Karen, "You need to know pull how to pull the trigger." So what's gonna happen is that Blade and Karen they're gonna do a stakeout in the car, in Blade's car, and they're going to be looking to see if Officer Krieger's gonna come back. so they can get him. I think Blade's gonna want to interrogate him. So they're in the car, and then you see Karen has ordered out for Chinese food. She's eating Chinese, and then she's like, "You think Officer Krieger's stupid enough to come back?" And then Blade's like, "Oh, you understand the stupidity of the of the situation." They see Officer Krieger does come back. He goes to the car and he takes off in the police car with the blood in it, and Blade chases him. So he's following Officer Krieger in his car. Officer Krieger gets to like some nightclub and stuff. Oh, and when they're driving, you see like a vampire biting a girl on the street while they're passing by. Male vampires biting this girl. He's like, ha! And then you still see the pursuit of Blade chasing Officer Krieger. Yeah, so Officer Krieger gets to the club. He goes in, and then Blade and Karen they're investigating the place from the car. He's like, oh, Blade's like, hey, see, I see vampires, and then Karen just says, how can you tell they're vampires? And he goes, by the way they smell and the way they move, I can tell. He goes, I can see the bouncer's a vampire and the whore in the corner is also a vampire. Um, so Blade and Karen get down and go investigate the club to go after Officer Krieger that's already entered the club. And then the bouncer's a big dude. I don't know, he looks Samoan or something. And he asks nicely to Blade, can I see your invitation? And then Blade has his glasses on. Okay, I'll give you my invitation. You see somebody go through the window. Blade has thrown the bouncer through the window. Um, I think Blade has also taught Karen how to use a gun. But they go into the club and you hear this like techno music, and they have these like Japanese females dressed like Japanese schoolgirls, and they're dancing and saying, "Hey," with the microphone, "Hey, what you got?" And so they have all this music in the club. You see, it's like a Japanese triad. I don't know if they're Japanese or Chinese. I don't know why I want to say they're Japanese. I think they may be Japanese because those girls they look like they're dressed in Japanese schoolgirl clothes. I don't know how Chinese schoolgirl girls look like. So Chinese, Japanese. I'm sorry, I cannot tell. I think they're Japanese though. Um, so all these old Japanese guys they're there sitting down, and it's like a club slash cooking place. They serve food there and stuff like that. And all these Japanese men on the tables looking at these Japanese girls performing, singing and to this techno music or whatever club music on their microphones. But you see that Blade, they they catch up to Officer Krieger. They're in the kitchen, and looks like a regular kitchen, but he's like, "Hey, tell me where you keep your blood or whatever." He checks like a refrigerator or something. There's blood in there. He's like, there it is. And then Officer Krieger, he Blade beats him up again, but Officer Krieger is able to escape again, so he escapes. But Blade has found like a secret entryway, and he goes there. He finds the entrance, and he goes, and he finds his place, and they end up going to they end up finding themselves. I mean, they go far in that door, like a secret door, and they find out that they go to they get themselves into this place where it's like a big room. It has Japanese vampire scrolls, and there are windows, and I think Blade is able to take one of them, and then that's where they find like a little girl, and Blade reaches to the little girl, and she's sitting in like in a corner like this, and and then I think some bad guys come in, the guys with the guns with the beanies, more of them. The girl gets up and starts hitting Blade with some kicks. She looks like she was a little girl, but man, she had long legs. She starts kicking Blade and stuff like that, and Blade beats her up. Um, then after that, these minions of Deacon Frost, guys with the guns. Quinn is also there. He's like, I have another hand. They're able to capture Karen and Blade. Blade, they put like a wire string around him like this back here. Someone's behind him, and they have him tied up like this, like that, in the same place. And then there's one of the vampires that goes, "Hey, I got this pig stick." They took Blade's sword, and then there's a thing that turns on the sword, and then it blows up some spikes come out of the blade, and it cuts the vampire's hand that had the blade, and he's like laughing, and Quinn and all the other vampires are laughing at him. Um, then they Quinn starts flirting with Karen, gets one of Blade's spikes, puts it like this on Karen's blouse near her cleavage, flirting with her. And then Blade starts laughing. He's like, "What's so?" And then Quinn's like, "What's so funny?" He's like, "I brought backup or something, or we're not alone." And then Whistler comes in and with some guns and starts shooting with his gun, starts killing a lot of vampires. He sneaks attacks them. Um, then Blade and Karen escape. The vampires are after them. Well, Whistler's also with them. They're all running. They run and they run. They actually get to this place where there's it's like where trains are. They made it to the subway. Um, Blade ha- gets a hold of a train. He gets it like this while the train's going. He gets it like this, and he gets Karen, and they're going with the train, and the vampires are running behind them. Blade and Karen are able to get inside, and then Blade says, "My shoulder's dislocated." Uh, Karen gets his shoulder and pops his shoulder in place in the train, and Blade needs to put more of that serum in him. And then Karen's like, "Let me help you with that too," and he's like, "No." And then Blade puts it in he puts a syringe in him, and he injects himself with that serum. And then she goes, "You're one of them," and he goes, "No, I'm something else." So pretty cool stuff so far. You have there's a scene where um there's a scene where Deacon Frost and his and a couple of his like five of his minions go. Um, they get Gitano the Elder. They take him out to the beach, and Deacon Frost gets like pliers and takes off Gitano the head elder. They take off his teeth, and then they're all like in motorcycle suits and their black helmets, and they put on their helmets and stuff like that, which protects them from sunlight. Gitano doesn't have anything on, so Gitano burns in the sun. While he's burning in the sun, Frost is holding hands with a girl from the beginning, the pigtail girl from the beginning. That's a little romantic scene while they have Gitano bursting in flames. Um, Officer Krieger has made it also to Deacon Frost is it's like a his apartment building. It's real nice. It has a swimming pool outside. The pigtail girl there is there. I don't really want to say her name. It's according to because I didn't look at the back, but according to Wikipedia, her name's Mercury, and she's not looking so pretty now without pigtails. But she's there at the party. Deacon Frost is checking out. He's looking at his computer and he's trying to. It's like a he's using the computer. He's trying to investigate how to work the how to work to get the blood god to awaken the god. And he's gonna find out that he needs to have the spirits of the 12 that will open like a gate to release the blood god. He's doing that in his computer. Um, Before I forgot to tell you that he had Gitano went to a library, a vampire library one time, and he saw Deacon Frost. He was with his headphones and stuff in that library, and he was trying to uncode the mystery of the secret of the 12 to release that will release the blood god. Gitano got after him there, and then that's why Frost killed him in the beach. So Gitano's no longer there. But the point is, Deacon Frost is trying to release the gun. Back to his apartment. Yeah, he's at his computer, and this girl, she comes. Yeah, it looks like a young lady, what is it, mid 30s maybe. She's in the. She was in some bed, some coffin. It's electrical. It comes like the top comes off. She gets out of there, and she says, "There's a party going on. Don't let everybody be waiting." But so Mercury, that girl, that pigtail girl, is there at the party. There's a lot of people at the party. Then that in Frost's beautiful big building. Officer Krieger makes it there, and he meets up with Deacon Frost. It has already joined the party. Officer Krieger is like complaining, is like, that Blade and all this stuff. Don't worry, we'll get him and all that stuff. And and Deacon Frost in front of Mercury, he starts, and in front of everybody, he starts biting Officer Krieger. And it's already said that Blade said that Officer Krieger he's a familiar to Deacon Frost. He's Deacon Frost's pet. Basically, Frost feeds him whatever he wants. But this time, Deacon Frost decides to bite him and kill him. And after he bites him, he throws him in the pool. And disgustingly, all the blood in Deacon Frost's mouth, he has it in Mercury's mouth too. One of his girlfriends, or one from the beginning of at the club. And there, he's kissing her with all the blood and all. I'm like, okay. Meanwhile, Blade and Karen Jensen had made it to this big fat blob of a guy. I don't know if he's a vampire or what, but he's really big and fat. No weight, no offense to any overweight people, but he's huge. I mean, this thing has to be like 600 pounds and can't. That's so big and overweight and fat, he can't move. And he's like with a lot of computer stuff, and it turns out it's Pearl, that big fat thing, whatever it is. No offense, but I don't know what he is. His name is Pearl. I guess it's a guy. It's a male. And Blade and Karen Jensen made it their way to him, and they're like, Pearl has seen the screen, has some weird stuff on it, and Blade asks him, "What is that?" And he's like, "It's research. It's actually a video game." And Whistler had given Blade this this thing. I don't know, so some sort of contraption that will shoot up light, and it's actually UV light like the sun. It can burn a vampire. And he starts burning Pearl, and then he gives it to Karen Jensen, and Karen starts burning it like it gets all burned. Pearl gets all burned. Ah! At the same time, Pearl is able to talk to Frost. It says, "Frost, help me!" And then Frost says, "Pearl, forget it. Your curtains, man. Like, it's over for you." And then Pearl starts saying "La Magra." Uh, that's the name of the blood god, and that's where Blade starts to learn about the 12 spirits and all that. You know, Pearl spills the beans and all that. Blade tells Karen, put the UV light on him if he moves. And then I think Pearl barely moved, and then Karen starts lighting him up like starts burning him with a UV light. So I guess Pearl is a vampire because the light is affecting him. So Karen burns him up and stuff like that. Um, Later on, you're gonna have Blade goes to this guy and Blade gives a whole bunch of watches, and this guy gives Blade the serum. And then we got they left Karen Jensen with a Whistler, and they're at the base. Then Deacon comes on with his minions. He comes in with other vampires. There's a fight. Whistler tries to fight him off with a shotgun, and they have taken out Whistler. They beat him up and everything, and they captured Karen Jensen. So it turns out that they have captured Whistler and Karen Jensen. Actually, no, they leave Whistler there. They take Karen Jensen with them. Blade later arrives, and Whistler's all messed up from the battle. Whistler was able to take out some of them with a shotgun, kill some of the vampires, which or familiars that Blade sees in the way to their base. But they have Whistler connect. He's like not connected, but he's like on a recliner seat. He's bleeding everywhere, and then Blade is talking to him, and Blade is wiping off his face with a napkin, wiping the blood off him. And Whistler's like, "Get out of here!" They got Karen. Get out of here! Get out of here, you SOB! He's like, and give me, shoot me, take me out, like to kill him. And Blade can't do it. And then Whistler's like, "Give me the gun! Give me the gun!" And then Blade walks away while Whistler's already put the gun to his face, and you hear a gunshot, and that's it. And then Blade leaves. Um, then there's a scene where Karen is with Deacon Frost and Mercury, the girl from the club in the beginning, and they're talking, and Karen saying like, what are you gonna do? Bite me and all that stuff. And then Karen saying tells Frost, you're a half breed. You're not even a real vampire. Um, they end up capturing Blade. So when they have Karen and Blade in some box, and they're sending them somewhere, and they're actually going to the Temple of Light, and they're traveling somewhere. It looks like they're in a truck or something because it keeps moving and moving. They they get Blade. They get to this Temple of Light, and you think it's somewhere in the. I get the feeling it's somewhere in the east. I don't think it even tells you where they're at. Somewhere near Russia, I would think. And they get Blade, and they tie him up to this thing. They've already beaten him up and all since they captured him. And it's like to me, it's like clay. It's like it has the shape of his head and the body, and they put Blade in there like this. Um, so they have him there, and then Karen Jensen, Quinn, and Deacon Frost, they throw her down this hole in this temple, and it turns out that she ends up. They said that hey, this guy's supposed to be a vampire, but he was supposed to turn, but he couldn't. He turned into something else. It happens like that. That's what Quinn says. They throw they throw Karen Jensen in that hole, and then she gets there, and it's actually Curtis Webb that's all turned into. He didn't turn into a vampire. He turned into some kind of monster, whatever like that. And and then Karen hits her with some bone that's down there, probably a human bone or something. She hits Curtis, and Curtis trying to Karen's like Curtis is like Karen, how you doing? And goes after her. And then, like I said, Karen knocks him out, and then he's gonna try to go after her again once he gets up. And then she's trying to climb up so Bach to climb out, and she uses some bones to climb out. There's like this steep boulder or whatever that she's trying not boulder. It's like a I don't know like a block she's trying to climb. She successfully gets out. Blade is still in that thing captured like this, and and some lady comes towards Blade, kind of looks like him, and he finds out it's his mother. She was the girl at the party that was in bed in Frost's room. So it looks like it's Frost's one of Frost's girlfriends. It turns out that she is the mother of Blade, and then she goes to Blade, and they're trying to take out Blade's blood. He is the key, and Whistler said Blade is the chosen one. They're gonna need also his blood to awaken Magra, the blood dog. I'm sorry, blood dog, blood god. So they're draining. Um, no, so they're draining Blade's blood. They're gonna drain his blood to awaken it, and they do because Blade's while they're taking Blade's blood out through that contraption, it's gonna the drops are gonna go to like to some place, and Frost's other girlfriend Mercury, the girl with the pigtails in the beginning, she makes the all the familiar soldiers with beanies and all that. They have taken all the house of whatever the where Gitana was at the 12 elders. They're gonna use them as for the 12 spirits, so that when they're all lined up in a circle in this big place in the temple, Blade's blood hits all the drops hit their heads, all 12 of them, where they're in a circle like this, and they awaken the blood god. The blood god goes into Deacon Frost. So Deacon Frost is the blood god now because the blood god is inside him. um, Karen Jensen is able to get Blade to release him. Blade ends up killing his own mother to get out, and Blade is very weak, and he's like on the floor, and then Karen's like Jensen's like, "Come on, you can bite me. You can take some of my blood." He's like, "No, I'll kill you." She's like, "No, just get some." So Blade starts biting Karen Jensen's neck, and he gets the blood from her. And Karen's like, "Let go, let go." And then Blade finally lets go. So Blade goes, and Karen go fight, and they start fighting with Deacon Frost's soldiers. They start killing them. Karen Jensen is fighting with Pigtail Girl from the club. She doesn't look called Mercury. Mercury, she doesn't have the pigtails no more, so she looks ugly, and she's dressed in an ugly dress. She looks horrible now. She only looks hot in the club scene. Anyways, Karen fights with her, and and in the fight with Karen, gets Pigtail Girls. Big Tail Girl tries to attack her, and then Karen puts all that. She still has a mace that Whistler gave her, the garlic mace, and puts it all over her mouth, into Mercury's mouth, and Karen kills her. Blade is doing all these martial arts moves, and he's killing all the familiar soldiers of Deacon Frost's minions. He kills them, and then he ends up fighting with Deacon Frost. Deacon Frost had thrown the serum. Oh, Karen, I forgot this part. Karen had made some. I think it's a DTA or something like that. It's it looks like serum, but it's not. They're in like like little bolts like this, full of they're like chemicals, but it's called DTA, whatever. It actually blows up vampires. Um, but Deacon thinks it's Blade serum that keeps him alive, and Deacon Frost had thrown it real high on the wall, and it was stuck in the wall in a crack right there. He thinks it's serum, but actually no, it's DTA used for blowing up vampires. Um, so so Blade is able to throw a contraption up there. I don't know, some Chinese star, I don't know what, and he's fighting Deacon Frost. Blade throws at I know I think he throws a sword. The sword hits the crack. The DTA falls into to Blade's hand. Remember, Deacon thinks it's serum, but it's not. Then Deacon Frost's like, you want your precious serum, huh? And it's cool because Blade catches it from his back, and then Deacon Frost is gonna during the battle. Deacon Frost attacks Blade like this, like jumps up stupidly like this with his legs in the air and like this, and then Blade just throws these DTA that has like they're like shots, and they start sticking to Deacon Frost. They hit Deacon Frost in the stomach and here, and the Deacon Frost is like this. And when he has that blood hemoglobin, he also has the red eyes. But when Blade throws these shots at him or the DTA, it starts turning Deacon into like a big fat balloon, red balloon, and he explodes. So the Deacon Frost and the Blood God are no more, and Blade and Karen Jason they make their way out of the temple, and they go up, and then Blade tells uh, Karen Jensen, "Hey, if you want to help me, you gotta make a better serum for me." And that is in the Blade. I went over through most of the scenes. Not all of them. I went through most of them. Um, so this is Blade. Here he is, Wesley Snipes. I will say that Whistler, one of the things I thought about Whistler, is a sidekick not only to Blade, but Whistler also comes out in Big Top Pee Wee, and Whistler is Big Top Pee Wee's uh, sidekick. So Whistler is Blade's sidekick, and Whistler is also the sidekick of Pee Wee Herman and Big Top Pee Wee. So Whistler is the guy that played Whistler is the only one that can say that he was a sidekick to Blade and Pee Wee Herman. This is Blade. I enjoyed the film. Oh my gosh! But the one what steals. Oh yeah, at the end, I'm sorry. It ends up that Blade is in Moscow now, and there's this guy taking this girl into one of those freezer clubs or whatever. You hear that boom boom as they're outside in the snow. This couple, and Blade is gonna save the girl from this vampire, and that's how it ends. After he has Karen Jensen to make a better syrup for him. So I already told you the thing about Whistler. He's also Blade and Pee Wee's sidekick. This movie is really fun, but what I was gonna say till I remember that other part, sorry, is that the oh my gosh, the beginning, the club with the techno music, that really steals the scene. That is the whole movie right there. That is the best part of this movie. The other dramatic part is when Whistler's there and the vampires already beat him up and everything, bit him and all that. That he asked Blade to take him to kill him, and that's one of the best dramatic scenes. They show the scene where you show Blade walking away, and Blade refused to kill Whistler, couldn't pull the trigger, and Whistler had to turn the gun on himself. And while while Blade's walking away, Whistler kills himself or shoots himself, supposedly. And we have to see Blade 2 to see what happens. And I will do a review on Blade 2 as well. I don't know when, but I will. Um, but the club scene is the most awesome scene of the movie. It steals the whole movie. You know, the rest of the movie's kind of okay. Other part I like is when Blade and Karen are in the vampire. I guess another vampire library, vampire library. I was gonna say vampire diary. I can't even talk. Vampire library. There, I got it right. Where there's scrolls in these window cases, and Blade he hears a little girl running around, and he goes to the little girl. The little girl's like this, like in the side in the corner. Then Deacon Frost minions come in, and then Blade is distracted. The little girl gets up, and it shows that she has like really long legs and starts kicking Blade, but Blade still kicks her butt. That's a really cool part. You cannot beat the freaking club scene. And then Mercury, the girl with the pigtails, she's dancing with that girl with that techno music. You gotta see it. It's pretty cool. I really like it. They get each other from here, from their sides or their jackets or whatever, and they're dancing together. And they ignore that guy being mean to them. The blood comes out for the sprinklers. The music is because I am biased because I'm a fan of club music, techno music, whatever it is. That song from Blade, that techno song, is the best ever. Is the best. So club scene's the best part, and it's kind of weird having the best part in the beginning of the movie rather than the end or the middle. But most endings of movies, I'm usually not happy with the ends. Some If a movie has a good ending, it's rare because mostly endings suck. It's not better than the beginning or the middle. Um, the club, and I don't have to tell you guys, man. For you guys that seen it, the club scene is the best scene ever. Everybody knows that. If you haven't seen the movie, you need to see the movie and see the club scene out, and you know what I'm talking about. But I probably watered it down for you because when I saw it, nobody told me about it, and it was just wow. My mouth was open, my eyes were popped up. That was like the best club scene, club music ever. I love club music. I used to go clubbing when I was younger. It was really cool. What else can I say about the film? I am a Blade fan. I think maybe there's some people that are not, but I am. I only know like maybe a couple of people that don't like Blade. Everybody else, I think, enjoyed it, like it. I think if you like action movie or if you have not seen it, you're gonna be interested to the whole movie. If if you've seen the movie and you keep seeing it, I wouldn't blame you. I watched Blade from time to time. It's a good movie, especially the club. I hate to say it, but sometimes I go see it just for the club scene, and sometimes I do see the whole movie. It's that kind of movie. Uh, I'm probably gonna give this movie a B minus. The reason I have to, I'm sorry, not a B, an A minus. The reason I don't give it an A plus is because the beginning is just way too good and it waters down the rest of the movie. You know, I guess I have to give it A plus if I think the whole movie is great. And this movie is great. It's just that the beginning is so good it waters down the rest of the movie. It's not as good. The middle and the end are not as good as the beginning. The beginning steals the show. I don't know how many times I have to say it. 'Cause I'm trying to see what else I have to say about the movie. But I give the movie an A minus. And that's good because I usually give movies B's. I don't usually don't give them A's. But if I give them A's, it's because my collection. I'm biased. That's my best movies. But sometimes I have movies that I grow tired of, even though I really 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 used to like them, and that's just the way it is. That's the way I am. Um, Deacon Frost, handsome guy. Pretty cool. That's just my opinion. He makes a good Deacon Frost, the guy that plays him. Mercury, the girl with the pigtails, looks really cool. She makes the club part really cool. I mean, she's not pretty, but she has the figure. She's hot, and then she has the pigtails. But that's another reason I wouldn't give this an A+, because she's like really like, you know, jaw dropping. But when it comes to the middle of the movie and the end of the movie, it looks like she can't dress. She can't look as good as she does in the pigtails. Like, I don't know. I think she has corn rolls or what they call them, and her hair in the last part she looks, and she's in a, I don't know, a weird gown or something. She looks horrible, and she does not look good in the middle of the movie either. Um, I've already gone an hour, so I better shut up now. So I guess that's all I have to say about Blade. I gave the movie an A-. Um, if you like my review, don't forget to subscribe. Give me a like if you like. I do need subscribers. So if you approve my stuff, don't forget to subscribe. And if you didn't like my stuff, of course, don't subscribe. And I try not to say it like everybody else, like and subscribe. So I'll do it differently. But I do need subscribers. You know, I need my channel to grow. So that's all I have to say about Blade. Last time I give it an A-. And don't forget to subscribe if you like my stuff. And I guess that's the end of my Blade review. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you next time. And I'll just say this. I'll leave you with this. The world will never be a perfect place, but we can always make it better. Till next time. My name's Alberto, aka Destroyer 48, and I'm outie. Peace. Later. Bye.